Hey everybody, hope you all are doing well and welcome back to Whiskey Wonders. And today we are back at our home region of Southern California in two different Costco's that this time around have a pretty amazing selection of whiskeys that we actually get to see. We have a very unique Japanese whiskey from Hibiki, the Harmony Cherry Blossom, an amazing limited release scotch from Glenfiddich, which is really as interesting as it sounds, the Glenfiddich 26, and there's some French words which I can't say, and a whiskey from the distillery, which has long since gone out of business, but has been revived by the good folks at Orphan Barrel, the Muckety-Muck 26, and really a whole bunch more. So today we're going to talk about the whiskeys that we saw, the ones that we found most interesting, and compare the prices for what they were inside and outside of Costco. Now, if you like these videos, if you like the wonders, if you like the hauls, the reviews, the unbottlings, the unboxings, and really all the amazing stuff we got cooking up for you, don't forget to like and subscribe because it does really help the channel to grow, and we're super thankful for that. But also, you get notifications when our newest videos come out on Sundays and sometimes in between. Or now, let's get down to the video. Now, to start this whiskey wonder off right, we're going to do a real quick whiskey check. And today, I think I'm going to go with a scotch that I have found myself going back to more and more over and over again without even really realizing it until the bottle starts getting kind of low, which is this Springbank 10, which is delicious and Campbelltownish and very, very good. So I like it a lot. And as you can see, I've kind of made my way through a lot of it. So let's see if we can get a pop off this one. Good. Get a little bit of whiskey for myself. Oh, yeah. And a whiskey. Because really, honestly, you can never drink too much of it. You can only just drink it too fast. Cheers. Oh, delicious. That one is delicious. Like it's sweet and smoky. So let's start off with probably the most difficult whiskey that we saw to actually get in this wander, which is this Hibiki Blossom Harmony. Although I think you can find it at duty frees and places like that. But really, there are right now a huge variety of growing blends that are coming out of Hibiki. I'm assuming this is because since they ended the production of a lot of their age statement whiskeys back in 2018, that it's really kind of freed up their hand to get much, more creativity going for their blends, which they can produce without actually having all the kind of strict guidelines that go
Yeah,
along with
right, man.
age statements. Look at that. Oh, it looks kind of unassuming, really. Huh. The Hibiki Blossom Harmony is kind of a unique Hibiki in the Hibiki harem because it was really released in honor of the Japanese love for the cherry blossom. And as a side note, I would just love to go and see the Cherry Blossom Festival one day. I hear it's pretty amazing, so that'd be really cool. Anyways, in honor of the cherry blossom, the Hibiki is a non-age statement blend of grain whiskeys from the distilleries of Hakushu, Yamazaki, and Chita, which are all under the Suntory umbrella. It's matured in standard white oak barrels, but is finished in cherry wood barrels, which makes it, to say the least, very interesting. Although it doesn't have any age statement on it, according to Suntory, it does have whiskeys in it that are 10 years old plus. And lastly, like I said, it's pretty limited release in the US. We really had to be very quick to get this one in Costco at Culver City. That being said, we can see here that the cost on it at Costco is at $159.99, which is pretty good in comparison to what you can find it, if you can find it at Total Wine when it's available, which is $194.99. And Bevmo, well, I couldn't find a price on it from Bevmo. And that being said, by getting this one at Costco, it means that we saved about $35 off the price of the Total Wine price, or 21.88% in terms of percentage, which is still pretty good. The ABV on it, on the Blossom Harmony, as you can see, is at 43%, which is pretty standard for a lot of Japanese whiskeys. And the tasting notes that I could find on it mention things like honeydew, cherry, honeysuckle, sweet grapes, some spice, and a light, long finish, and a very, very well-balanced palate, which is what I would expect. This one specifically had hit a very strong spot with the Japanese whiskey lover commentariat because the reviews that I could find on it gave it a score of 90 out of 100 points. So obviously, since we did end up buying this one was a buy for us. And really, anytime we can find a Hibiki that is close to MSRP, especially if it is a limited release, it's going to be a buy for us. So that is the Hibiki Cherry Blossom. Now, next up is a scotch that I am super familiar with, but it just doesn't seem like I drink it very often. Really, anyone's in the line. I mean, we've had this one for maybe, I don't know, maybe about a year or so, and you can see there is some emptied out of it. Like it's got a good portion taken out of it, but we've had it for like a year and a half or something like that. So, I don't drink it as often as I should, but every time I do drink it, I am just blown away. I really enjoy it. So this next one up that we see is out of the Glenfiddich line, which is the Glenfiddich Grand Couronne 26. I don't know if I'm not. There's no way I'm saying that right. And as you can see, it looks about as ostentatious as packaging can get. This one we saw at Costco in the San Diego off Moreno Boulevard, so it's a second one, which is known to be a place to find some of the best whiskeys that Costco sells in California. That is, if you can get there early enough and beat the crowds. Now, this Glenfiddich Grand Couronne 26 is not only a top-of-the-line production from the distiller out of Speyside, but it is sort of kind of experimental in the sense that not only is it a whiskey older than most Leonardo DiCaprio's girlfriends, but also that is aged in American and French oak, which is, I guess, usual enough. But it's also aged and finished in ex cognac cask, which is something that really kind of raised my eyebrows. It brought it to my attention. It is a single malt. Oh, also it is Costco number 1611435. The price that we see here is at kind of sort of a strange price for Costco at $499.00, because usually it's 99 cents or something, or 79 cents. But you know what? I'll definitely take it in comparison to what we saw the cost for at Total Wine, which is $649.99. And Bevmo, once again, doesn't have anything available for it. Now, we did not buy this one at Costco, at least this time. If we did, I would have it here with us. But I think after reading the reviews of it, I'm going to go back and get it. So if we did end up buying it, we would have had a cash difference over the Total Wine price of $150.99 or 30.26% difference in percentage. The ABV on the Glenfiddich Grand Couronne, the ABV on this Glenfiddich is at 43.8%, which is, again, sort of an odd ABV as well. The tasting notes on it are another thing that really sold me on this one, and probably the reason why I'm going to go back and get it eventually if I can find it, is the mention of flavors like light nut flavors and ultra smooth textures, a mixture of medium ABV burn and brown sugar, baking spices, and all layered over a subtle cognac undertone, which sounds delicious. It's just right up my alley. The scores I can find on it, they are really exceptional, as you would imagine. They came in at 92 points out of 100. But again, I mean, it's for a whiskey that's basically $500. So, yeah, in conclusion, this is one that next time I am down in San Diego, and if it's still available, and if I can convince the wife, I'll have to pick this one up. So I better start putting together a good negotiation package to justify picking this one up. So that is the Glenfiddich Grand Couronne 26. All right, last up today is a whiskey that has an alluring story, but it doesn't seem really compelling enough to move a lot of the bottles off the shelf, because I do basically still see it everywhere, which is this Muckety-Muck 26. Now, we fell into the orphan barrel trap previously for the Muckety-Muck with the previous Muckety-Muck 25, this one, where, they basically find distilleries that have long gone out of business. I think this one went out in like 2010. They buy up the leftover stock, and then they end up marking it off as rare, and then also pricing it like it's rare. Now, indeed, they may be rare, but they're not making any more of it. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is good or worth the price that they are asking for it. This is the case with the Muckety-Muck 26, because it is from the now defunct distillery, Porta Dundee Distillery, and the name and the logo is of a pig in Scotch garb, kind of like Scrooge McDuck, but for pigs. It's named after an award-winning hog that used to live at the site of the distillery with all his accolades around him in his pen, and people would stop by and admire his pigginess. Keep in mind, this is before the internet. Anyways, Orphan Barrel has saved the stocks, and for the last 3 years, they have released them as successive age statement whiskey. So there's the 24, which we don't have, the 25, and now the 26 this year. The thing is that where things start to get real tricky on this one is the price, because, well, it's sort of an unknown whiskey, and obviously I have not tried it yet. We haven't opened it yet, as you can see. But it may be good, it may not be. Again, if we learn anything from Pawn Stars, the thing is that just because something is rare, it doesn't mean that it is good or worth large sums of money. I mean, just ask that one guy who had Elvis's stapler. But the price on the Muckety-Muck 26 is at $239.99, which is quite high for a whiskey that, unintended, is a bit of a pig in a poke. But it's still a good price in comparison to what you would have to pay if you wanted to get it from Total Wine, which has it at $279.99, or at Bevmo, who has it at $299.99. I guess welcome to the party, Bevmo. We finally got one on the board. This means that because we got it at Costco, then we saved around $40.99 off the Total Wine price, or 17.15%. The ABV on the Muckety-Muck 26 is at 46%, as you can see right there. And in fact, is that what it is on this one too? Oh, it's at 45.5%. So you get 0.5% more ABV. That's worth the extra price, right? Now, the other issue specifically with the Muckety-Muck, and maybe, I guess, whiskey writ large, is the fact that we bought the Muckety-Muck 25 last year at Costco in San Juan Capistrano for $189.99. But basically just 1 year more, 1 year later, and 1 year higher, and I guess 0.5% ABV, a little bit higher. Now the price is $239.99. So the question is one more year of age and 0.5% ABV worth $50 more or 20% more? I think that obviously explains why the Muckety-Muck is sitting on the shelf in force. That being said, the tasting notes on it are actually pretty good. They mention things like lemon curd, snickerdoodles, citrus zest, crumbly clay, which is an interesting description I don't think I've heard before, vanilla, short finish, and an overall, well, unimpressive mouthfeel in comparison to the price. Ew, ouch. It did get an okay score of 84 points out of 100 out of the reviews that I could find. But I think this is just a case that the whiskey, it has a great story. It's got a great logo on it. It's very creative and kind of whimsical. But in practice, it may not be worth as much as they are asking for it. I'm not sure if it is greed or maybe just a misprice or maybe sort of kind of thing where boutique whiskeys just need to price it that high to survive and it's just not market competitive. I don't know what that situation is. But you know what? I did pick this one up because honestly, I like the story about the pigs. I like the imagery on the front of the whimsical pig in the Scotch garb. And secretly, I hope that it is just really amazing and no one buys it and I can just enjoy it all to myself. But we won't know until we try it. So yeah, I did buy it. I don't know if I would recommend buying it. It's one of those things where do as I say and not as I do. All right, so that's our wander from a couple of Costco's here in SoCal. And really, I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, if you like the wanders, if you like the hauls and the reviews, the unbottlings, the unboxings, and kind of all the crazy stuff we got cooking up for you, and we got tons of amazing stuff cooking up for you, don't forget to like and subscribe because it does really help our channel to grow, and we are growing, and that is awesome, and super thankful for that. But also, it is good for your whiskey mojo, and you get notifications when our newest videos come out on Sundays, and sometimes in between. So, with that, just remember, if you do find a whiskey that you love, just buy it. Because if you don't, somebody else surely will. In this case, it might even be me. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your week. I'm out, and adios.